Okay, everyone, it's Jerry Emick here. I get to moderate this afternoon as we've got people everywhere and in two places at once. I just got a text from Dan, and looks like we'll have EJ Liddell and Seth Towns. They'll be here momentarily, and as soon as I see them, I'll start calling on individuals. If someone sees them and I don't see them, let me know, please. For those TVs and others out there who are looking for recording privileges, I'm not a host. I can't do that, but I think others are on that. If you put a message in the chat, they'll see that, and they'll be able to allow you to record. So just FYI there.
I'll say.
All right, folks, it looks like we have Towns joining us here. We're going to go ahead and open up the questioning, Seth, for you in our media. We're going to open it up with Adam Jardy from the Columbus Dispatch. Adam?
Seth, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
You guys never trailed in this one, and once you went up 9-6, it was never within 2 possessions. Why were you able to just from start to finish be as effective as you were in this game?
Yeah, I think we just as a team were really disciplined. We executed really well on defense and on offense. We took really good shots. And then, I think the jerseys definitely had something to do with it. We all felt it when we put the jerseys on. We all felt these superpowers coming at us, and we played and we didn't hold back from it the entire game. So, yeah.
What did it take? Obviously, you guys have had, just the other night, Purdue manages to pull off the comeback against you guys, and I know you've had success late in games. But you just able to consistently draw that line today. Is this team continuing to learn something about itself from just, I guess, a maturity standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, that Purdue game, obviously you hate to lose, but it taught us a ton. And we went back to the drawing board and learned a lot from it and brought our new knowledge out to this game.
Next up, we'll go to Steve Mcgarthy. Steve?
I was just wondering, particularly when, I guess, Aleem Ford made a few three-pointers, that 13-point lead got down to 4. It looked like the momentum was turning, and y'all just kind of went on a surge and took it right back. Just how did y'all kind of regroup at that point when it got down to 4 late in the game there?
Yeah, I mean, that's what basketball is. It's a game of runs, and especially when you're playing a team of this caliber, that's something we talked about in the timeout, that, they're a top 10 team. They're going to go on a run, but we're a really good team too. We just got to bounce back, and that's what we did.
Next up, Patrick Murphy, 24/7 Sports.
Seth, this is, I think, 3 in a row against top 10 teams on the road for you guys. What kind of statement are you guys making here as end of January, starting February, you're starting to get into that later portion of the season? What kind of statement do you think you guys are making about where this team is headed?
I think objectively, it just shows that we're a really good team. But for us, we take it game by game. We're locked in, and we know that when we go out on the court, we have the opportunity to win every game we play. So that's kind of where we're coming from, and just locked in on executing.
And having CJ back tonight, what kind of difference did that make, having him run the point?
Huge. I'm sure you guys have seen. You guys saw how impactful he was as a player. And we obviously missed him heading our team at the point guard position. So, really everyone across the board is really glad to have him back.
Next up, Steve Hellwagon, 24/7 Sports. Steve?
Okay. Seth, just for you, the shots you were hitting were not layups. You were making jump shots there early in the game. Just to come in off the bench and feel it like that, just to get rolling, what was that like?
Yeah, I mean, it's something I try to do every game, is, stay ready, be warm and ready when I get in, and, hit the shots I take. And, that's what I try to do. And then, again, the jersey really gave me a boost.
Next up, Bruce Hooley with Press Pros. Bruce? All right, we'll go on to Brendan Gulick, Buckeyes Now at Sports Illustrated. Brendan?
Hey, Seth, congrats on the win. I'm curious how you're feeling. I know it's been a work in progress for you to kind of get, more and more into the flow of things here as the season's gone along. As you continue to get healthier, how do you feel after a game like this?
Yeah, I mean, I feel pretty good right now. And that's kind of, all I can really say. And just honestly how it feels. it's, again, like I said previously, it's kind of a roller coaster with this thing, but today I felt good. Lately it's been feeling pretty good, so just trying to keep that momentum.
And what is it about the mentality of this team that you guys have now beaten 3 top 15 teams on the road this year? There seems to be a fearlessness with you guys play. What is it about this group from a chemistry or a culture perspective that enables you guys to be so loose and confident on the road in those environments?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a testament to the guys we have individually on the team. No moment or opportunity or team is too big for anyone. But also, collectively, I think our leaders certainly necessitate that mentality. So, we're locked in on us every single time we go out, and we're not too focused on the moment.
We're going to go 2 more questions for first up, Colin Hass-Hill. Colin?
Seth, I know that you haven't played more than just this season with Justin before, but he's never played this many minutes in this kind of role before. What's his mood like? What have you seen from him in these past few games, especially?
Justin, you said?
Yeah, Justin.
Yeah. His confidence is through the roof, and he's one of the best shooters in the country, in my opinion, and he's showing that. So I think he's got a lot more in him, and he's just playing a great role for our team. So his morale is really high.
And final question, I think, Adam, did you have a follow-up question for Seth? Adam Jardy?
Yes, Seth, you talked about how much it means to you to play at Ohio State. And I wonder if you reflect on that at all after some of these wins and what it has felt like for you personally after all you've been through to be playing the role that you're playing in wins like this for this program.
Yeah, it's certainly an unbelievable feeling playing with Ohio State on the front of my jersey. And, whatever role I'm assigned, however many minutes I'm playing, I think, fans everywhere and my teammates and staff and whoever can see that, I'm going to play hard regardless. So, every single game, it doesn't really matter. It's just when my name is called, I'm proud to be putting this jersey on and playing for this team.
Great. Thanks, Seth. Great. Seth, thank you very much. Congratulations on a wonderful win on the road.
Thank you. Thank you, Jerry.
And next up, folks, we have EJ Liddell here, and we are going to go ahead and open up the questioning with you once again, Adam Jardy from the Columbus Dispatch. Adam?
EJ, congratulations on the win.
Up a little bit. Thank you. Yep. Thank you.
Hey, EJ, congratulations on the win. The opening the game the way that you did, you win the tip, you hit the jumper. 2 possessions later, you hit a jumper. What sort of tone did that send early for how you wanted to play and what you guys needed to do?
We just wanted to come out and just play aggressive the whole game. I mean, those 2 jumpers, we've been working on that kind of play, just me short rolling, because I've been really good in the mid-range area lately. So that just set a tone to come out and play aggressive for the rest of the game.
What did it take to maintain that throughout the game? I mean, you're playing at a top 10 program on their court, and you guys never trailed. What did it take to maintain that attitude or that momentum throughout?
It took everybody to stay connected and just be together as a unit instead of like everybody becoming individuals. Because they had their run, they hit number 2 hit 3 big threes in a row, and then we just had to stay together. I mean, that was their run, but throughout the course of the game, we all had to stay connected and stay together. So.
Next up, Patrick Murphy with 24/7 Sports. Patrick?
EJ, I don't know if you were sitting there with Seth, but he credited the jerseys a couple times. I assume he's joking a little bit, but sometimes you can get a boost from something like that. What was your guys' reaction when you saw them? And did that give you guys a little fire heading into this game wearing something a little different?
Sort of, something like that. I mean, when we put them on, it just had like a different type of swagger, like just a different type of confidence when we put on the jersey and we saw them. When I first saw them, I got really excited. Like I couldn't wait to put them on. I kept asking which game were we going to wear them. And the days were going by so slow. so slow. I was just waiting to put these on.
When did you guys first see them?
My first time seeing it was last week when me and Justice did the little photo shoot to show off the jerseys.
Okay, and then having CJ back, just the impact he has when he's out there for you.
Man, I'm so happy to have CJ back. I mean, he was on the sideline being like sort of an assistant coach, just that different leader on the floor. We needed him as a point guard. CJ, it was huge having CJ back. It took him a while to get him going, but I mean, he came out there and did what he usually do, just be a leader.
Next up, Stephen Means with Cleveland.com. Stephen?
EJ, I know you've been a consistent scoring threat for this team all year, but it seems like this last week and a half, you've used the weekend game to kind of make it for a lack thereof of scoring on a Wednesday game. I don't know why do you think that is?
Just confidence. I mean, I know what I'm capable in. The coaches know what I'm capable in, and it's just them trusting me to go out there and play me as many minutes as I've been playing. Last couple of games, I played 30 minutes or so, and I just feel like they trust me at a maximum level, and I feel like we built that trust throughout the couple years I've been here.
What changed for you as far as from a scoring perspective from what you were able to do against Purdue on Wednesday, what you were able to do that?
I think it was just Wisconsin style of play. They didn't really post though as much as Purdue, but I mean, I felt like I was more aggressive on the offense end. I felt like we were a lot more connected today than we were in our last game.
Next up, Steve Mcgarthy, please. Sorry about that, Steve.
No problem. I just wondering, it's 3 straight road games y'all beating top 15 teams. I imagine, what does that say about y'all, or was it just a case of these all being kind of neutral court games now with no fans in the stands?
I mean, any win on the road is huge because, I mean, they're not our hoops. We have to get acclimated to their hoops. But everything that we played has been pretty, good. So I just feel like when we go on the road, we have a different mindset. We got to stay connected throughout the whole time because they're going to have their runs. It's their place. They're used to it. They practice here almost every day. But I just feel like we have to stay connected.
I'm going to go with 2 more questions. Coach Holtmann's ready, folks. We're going to go with Bill Landis from The Athletic. Bill?
Hey, EJ, Coach said earlier this week that he wanted to give you guys a day off, I think, after the Purdue game. I'm not sure if that was scheduled or not, but just to get, some time to recharge in a year like this that comes with a lot of challenges, how much do you think that helped you guys in this game?
That was the best day of my life, and I feel like everybody else felt that. We had a lot of games in a row, and after every game, we were going to gym, practice, and just get to it. But after the Purdue game, I felt like everybody got their body back right, did some rehab. A couple people got massages, and felt like that reset a lot of people.
And final question for EJ. We'll go with Phil Harrison from Buckeyes Wire. Phil?
Hey, EJ. I mean, your game is continually evolving to where you're now stepping outside, and you got a good mix of inside-outside game going on. Is that something that's just kind of evolved throughout the year? Clearly, you're more confident stepping outside, hitting jumpers than last year. Or is that something you really worked on hard over the offseason to get better at to create more mismatches against the opposition?
I worked on it very hard, very, very hard. I knew I had to expand my game for this team to be good. If I hit shots, it's going to open up opportunities for my teammates. And I just feel like it's my confidence level. I started off kind of slow. Made 2 threes in the first couple games, but I feel like I just keep improving and just keep my mindset on and getting better every day.
Great. EJ, thank you so much, and congratulations on a really great win.
Thank you.
Folks, we might have some weather coming in Wisconsin, so we'll go with Coach for as long as we can. Coach, congratulations on the win, and we'll open it up with a few opening comments, please.
First of all, this is a bad look right here. I got to figure out how to move this thing. It's a bad look for me here. Okay. My head looks shaped odd. Overall, guys, I'm just, really proud of this group. I think you look at this Wisconsin team, and, we've got tremendous respect for them. Top 10 team in the country. They're really talented. They're obviously old. That's been much discussed, but they're well coached. They're really disciplined. But as we always say, players win games. I thought our players from the jump really grabbed a hold of this thing, and couldn't be more proud of our group. I'm just extremely proud of them for how they played today. It was a tremendous character win for our group after a tough one the other night.
Okay, we'll open it up with questions. We'll start off with Bruce Hooley from Press Pros. Bruce?
Yeah, Chris, this would be a great win in another era where, you had fans and all that kind of stuff. I just wonder, getting a team ready to play on the road now, like, what is it like playing on the road? This environment is one where Ohio State has really struggled, as is almost everyone. So what is the challenge? Is it really neutral court or not?
Well, first of all, I would say, Bruce, it's a great win regardless because of the competition. But to your point, I totally get it. It's very much different, Bruce. I think every environment is a neutral environment, and that's just the reality. You're playing the other team. You're trying to execute against the other team. It's a bit awkward at home, I think, for everybody. But at the end of the day, between the lines, it really is about execution and how you're playing. And it's a great win because you're beating a terrific team. The environment and what it would have been here, I think our first year, they weren't nearly the team they are now. We won here. And then last year, they took us to the woodshed here last year. So it is certainly different with fans, but the quality opponent makes it a wonderful win.
I don't have the final numbers on their three-point shooting, but that was obviously a big factor today. That can be your defense, or that can be they just had an off day. As you assess it from the bench, what would you think it was?
Probably a combination of both. I will tell you this, Bruce, when you get ahead of a team, sometimes those shots are a little more difficult. So I think us jumping to a couple possession lead there early was important because it just throughout the game puts game pressure on those shots.
Next up, Adam Jardy with the Columbus Dispatch. Adam?
Chris, you talk often about in this league, you never feel like a game is in hand. Once you guys went up like 9-6, it was never a 2-possession game. And I know they occasionally threw some punches, but you guys always answered. Did you feel anything different with your team throughout this game that it seemed like every time they hit a bucket, you guys were able to come down and answer?
Feel anything different than
I guess not different, but what did you feel from your team as far as why you were able to do that so consistently today, where you kept them at arm's length the whole time?
I just thought, and it was true, Adam. I think we answered. Kyle's and one was critical when they might have cut it to 7 or 6. I can't remember, Adam. But that was a critical possession for us, a really critical possession. I almost called a timeout. I very nearly called a timeout. We had 2 timeouts. I was debating on whether or not to call the timeout, and our guys just played. And Justice made a nice pocket bounce to Kyle, and Kyle was able to finish with the M1. But I think, you got to trust your guys. You got to trust your team. And I thought they answered the bell every time. It never does, Adam, in this league, especially when you're playing the caliber of team that we were playing and their ability to make threes. It never felt like the game was even close to in hand. Never once. To me, it felt like a possession game every game because it's almost how you got to play against Wisconsin. Because the moment you're undisciplined with them, they take full advantage.
Now, how did you see? I guess what were huddles like? What were guys like as they were? Every time there be a stoppage, you guys are reassessing and talking about what you're going to do next. What was the general vibe? What was the general mood like as you were going through this game?
Great. This team has been extremely engaged from the very start of the year. A really, really engaged group, and they bounced back from tough losses very well. They've come to work. They're competitive. They feel losses. I told them, I said, hey, I didn't sleep for 3 days. Just because of, you feel that as a coach, but they came back the next day ready to work and had really good preparation here last night for this team.
Next up, Patrick Murphy, 24/7 Sports. Patrick?
Chris, you look at the games CJ missed, and you guys go 3-1. You're able to do some things that maybe a lot of people didn't expect. What is the value that he brings that maybe isn't seen? Wins, losses, assists, things like that maybe don't get seen by the average person watching the game that he then was able to bring to them.
It's a good question, Patrick, because I don't think he gets credit enough for him. He's a tremendous talker defensively. Tremendous talker. He sees things and he competes. Sometimes he competes a little too hard defensively and he gets in foul trouble. But he really competes defensively. And then I thought today what he's done really well, he did really well in this game, is he got to the paint and made really good decisions. And when he's playing well, that's what he does, is get to the paint and make really good decisions. Now, you're right. I thought we were in a good rhythm offensively. And one of the things as a coach is you're concerned about the offensive rhythm that we were in and disrupting that by implementing a guy that's going to play 20 to 25 minutes and the ball's going to be in his hands. So we had to talk about that a lot as a coaching staff on kind of what we were going to do. And a lot of it was play by feel. We went into it with a plan, but a lot of it was go by feel as well.
And do you see that being the case going forward with him? You'll feel it out, or do you see him kind of fitting back into the rotation as he was previously?
Some of it will depend on how his hand is feeling and what the pain tolerance is, Patrick. But, again, I think we're in a good rhythm. I like the ball in Justice's hands at times as well at the point guard spot, as well as Dwayne. So we won't go away from that.
Next up, Stephen Means, Cleveland.com. Stephen?
Coach, EJ Liddell, and just can you talk about the way he's been able to bounce back in these Saturday games after maybe not having the best game on a weekday game? That's pretty much been the case these last 4 games.
Yeah, he's as I've said over and over, he's a tremendous person. So when you have really good people, they kind of bounce back. They figure out what they can do better. They move forward. They come back ready to watch film and work. And he's really talented. So he's a mismatch issue. He's a problem. And he's just a sophomore. So teams are going to do some things and try to take away some things. I thought Purdue did a really good job of that. But against certain matchups, we were able to really attack tonight.
Speaking of Purdue, did you see, he said that maybe he got doubled a little bit more against Purdue than he did against Wisconsin. Did you kind of see the same thing from him?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, and we knew that. He knew that going into it. We planned for it. Just like Dwayne getting a ton of attention, EJ gets a lot of attention, and there's going to be times where other guys are going to benefit from that. And I thought that was the case some with Dwayne tonight. But overall, I felt really good about his attack, his aggressiveness tonight was really good. And again, I thought he was able to get to his spots and do what he does, which is really score the ball.
Next up, Bill Landis with The Athletic. Bill?
Hey, Chris, another one about CJ. Late in the game there, he was like hounding Trice and I think forced a turnover on a handoff. He stepped in front of wall on that layup that he missed. Just, you got into a tight game, as I'm sure you were expecting at the end. Just how do you feel like CJ helped settle you guys down on those possessions where you were defending?
Yeah, it's a lot of that, Bill. It's a lot of those things that, again, as Patrick alluded to, maybe the fans don't always see, is his help awareness defensively, his communication, and then his speed gives us a different element. I thought we lacked a little bit of burst at times against some of the teams we played in this stretch, and it didn't necessarily hurt us as much. Maybe it hurt us against Purdue, but we lacked the ability to get by people and get by defenses, and he provides that. But I think those plays you mentioned there defensively were as critical as anything. And he got to his pull-up tonight and made great reads.
Next up, Jack Emerson with The Lantern. Jack?
Hi, Coach. Congrats on the win tonight. Wayne shot 1 of 9, but he led the team in assists, and he was getting to the foul line. Just what have you seen from him this year when maybe his shot isn't falling?
Just real evolution of a really good player. I just think the evolution of a really good player. Again, in this league, you are going to command, when you come in as effective as he's been, you're going to command a lot of attention. So you got to play the game the right way. You got to move the ball. You got to create open shots for other people. EJ's going to have to continue to do that at times. Dwayne will as well. You know, you got to be able to do those things. I just think he continues to evolve and grow as a player. Like, he's taken a major step as a junior. I think probably people like I'm talking about league play, Big Ten play, the best, competition in the country. I just think obviously EJ's taken a major step, but so has Dwayne.
Next up, Steve Hellwagon with 24/7 Sports. Steve?
There's a question from Steve.
Yeah, Coach. Congratulations. Just the overall efficiency of your offense. I think you were 10 percentage points better than what they normally give up shooting, and 12 points more than what they give up on average in a game. Just and it started early. You're sticking shots in the first couple, 2-3 possessions. Just what do you say about the overall efficiency? It was when CJ was in and when he wasn't in as well, kind of both, really.
Yeah, I think that was probably as good as we played offensively in our 3+ years against an elite defense. I just thought it was really efficient. It was really smart. I thought Ryan Peden did a great job with the game plan offensively. Terry and Jake did a great job with the defensive game plan. But I thought overall our attack, and at the end of the day, players make plays. And I just thought against a defense this good, this formidable, it was as efficient as, even when we won here a couple of years ago, their defense wasn't near as good as it is now. And we got really frustrated here last year. So we obviously had to play differently than what we did last year. I thought our guys were tremendous with that.
And there was some talk about scheduling an opponent this week. Is there any possibility? Do you have a date we should set aside this week to expect to come watch a game, or what? Where do things stand, I guess?
I'll make that decision here, Steve, and we'll let you know as soon as we make that decision. I'm not sure. I'm debating. We obviously got a gauntlet with we got some time off, but we also, got a tremendous opponent, Michigan State, coming up. So we'll decide if we need a game in between there to get our guys some game freshness and readiness in between a 7-8 day layoff.
Thanks.
Coach, are you okay time-wise? We have a couple more, but if you need to.
Sure. No, it's fine, Jerry.
Up next, Brendan Gulick, Buckeyes Now from Sports Illustrated. Brendan?
Hey, Coach, congrats on another good day today. Seth mentioned when we spoke with him earlier on how much, as a team, you guys felt like you learned from the Purdue game. Can you elaborate a little bit more on some of those things that, most stood out from that game and how you implemented them and did them better today?
It's a different team, different opponent, different defense, and different way of playing. So, I think all in all, what we learned was we did not execute defensively or offensively down the stretch, and that's my fault. And in that game, but I think there were plenty of plays throughout the game where we got outworked at times. And yet, again, we did some really good things too. I think Purdue's a good opponent, really good team. But I think as much as anything right now, it really is, if we'd have came out of here with a 2-point loss, I certainly would have been disappointed. But if we'd have played the way that we played here and lost by 2, there would have been a lot of encouragement too, because of that's what matters right now is are you performing and growing as a group? And as much as any group we've coached, this group has grown.
Well, you certainly showed a lot of poise late. I guess this might sound silly, but how much fun is it to win a game on the road against a Big Ten team that's ranked top 10 in the country? It's the third time this year you've beaten the top 15 team on the road. Does that fact maybe help lighten an otherwise sometimes heavy season?
Sure. Yeah. I do think you want your players to celebrate, to your point, the wins more this year than ever. You want them to really enjoy wins playing in the middle of a pandemic against a top 10 opponent, or as you mentioned, the last couple opponents, top 15 opponents. Like, you want to see big smiles on your players' faces, because you know, tomorrow morning we're going to get up and we're going to get tested at 8 a.m. And, you know, we're going to go through that routine, and they're going to, you know, they're not going to have a chance to see their families on the right. So you really do want your guys to enjoy it. So, you know, at the end of the game, you know, when you see the smiles on their face, I think it's really rewarding as a coach and a coaching staff, because, you know, they've invested a lot in this season, and you want them to be able to play meaningful games in February and March. And I hope we can continue to build towards that.
Last couple questions. Next up, Phil Harrison with Buckeyes Wire. Phil?
Hey, Coach. Congratulations on the win. Going into this year, a lot of unknowns, a lot of new faces coming into the program. And I don't know what your expectations were, but you know, from the outside looking in, it definitely looks like this team is getting better, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Do you feel like at this point in the season, I know you touched on the growth, and the team more than any you've had is starting to, you know, has had some significant growth. Do you feel good about where this team is going right now? And if you had to put your finger on, you know, the identity of this team, what would it be?
You know, I think we've got to make improvements defensively, but we have become an elite offensive efficiency team right now, and I hope we can continue to do that. We turned it over a few too many times today, but we have to improve in our overall defensive effort and defensive attention to detail, and continue to do that. But I think, yeah, the progress and the growth of this group has been incredibly rewarding for us as a coaching staff, because we have continued. If you saw us play some of our early games, you would have had legitimate concerns about our group. And I was right there with you. But I knew that we had great guys, and hopefully we can continue to use every day that's in front of us to get better. We're not there yet. We've got a lot to improve on. We've got to coach better and play better, but it's been a phenomenal group to coach, because we've seen growth with each passing week.
And we'll wrap it up this evening with questions from Colin Hasshill with 11 Warriors. Colin?
Chris, you said a little bit ago that maybe this particular team, more than most, you know, feels losses. And I know you said something similar a few weeks ago. Is that something that you take pride in, and your players feeling that too? And what, you know, what does that attitude do for you guys in a game like this, where it's a big road game and you don't want the same result to happen that you just felt?
You know, I think there's an awareness from our guys that you're playing in the caliber of league that we're playing in, and yet at the same time, it's a competitive group that is hungry to, you know, to play well and to beat the caliber of teams we're going to play. And I think they understand. They understand Purdue's a really good team. They understand Michigan State's a really good team, even though those teams may not be ranked. And they obviously understand Wisconsin's a really good team in Illinois. But I think for us, I think we do have a competitive group. We have a group that feels it, that collectively feels it. And you know, you observe that as a coach. I think we had a competitive group last year as well. I don't want to, in all, really our time here, but this group feels it. And, you know, I think their response was as good of a response as again, maybe I've seen in terms of coming back the next day ready to work.
Great. Coach, thank you very much. Have a safe trip back to the club.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Good job, Jerry and Dan.
All right, guys. Take it easy.
Thank you.